Ladies and gentlemen, another game, another you, another me in the bottom of the map, playing as Loki. Everyone's favorite Loki player. Has one of the most unique Loki styles out there. His name is Matrius. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Isis. Well, yes, he's playing as Isis. He's from the King clan. His name is Pegasus. And he is going to be showing us the Isis ways on this auspicious of occasions, doing some very sweaty Monument to the Villagers and a villager dumping micro here. You do want to do this a little bit. If you're going to be doing the, like, quote-unquote Isis build, which is to rush out this tech as fast as possible, the Flood of the Nile tech, the gold and the favor don't come in at the same time unless you do some empowerment. So this is very, very important. And we can see that he's doing that and he's going to have some fun. Realistically, you only need 4 villages on food, and then you can go over onto gold, and then you can get that upgrade, and then you're going to be having yourself effectively an extra villager on your opponent early on, which is a big, big advantage. Now, the map step, very open. There's probably room here for Pegasus to kind of do almost whatever he wants. He can do a really aggressive classical fight. He can probably go one town center fast heroic and make some problems for the Loki as well. If the Loki player wants to do something like go for a fast second town center, which is something that I know Matrius likes to do. A nice quick one town center fast heroic can be devastating for that sort of a play. You could try a second town center, but this is not the best second town center map. Probably not going to be something he wants to try. But realistically here, I am very, very interested in what Matrius' approach to this matchup is. It's a matchup that Matrius had unlocked in Legacy. As Loki versus Set, Loki versus Isis, Loki versus Ra. He'd unlocked it. That didn't mean that he was like able to win every single time. It meant that he had like a pathway that he could take to give himself good chances versus like higher level players. And he managed to win in tournament with this from time to time. And he has actually won in tournament with Loki against, I believe it was Ra. I could be wrong. I think he won against Soup's Ra in tournament. We can talk about that game for ages, but let's see what the relics are going to be here. We do have the Dwarven Calipers making some siege just that little bit cheaper. Over here we've got the Chariots of Sibel, making Golden Lions cheaper. Up on the top side of the map, there is the Scales of Echidna, making myth units cheaper. A little bit of nice relics over there. And we got Shenong's Okrawep. Always nice. So, now Forseti on the way for Matrius. The game continues along. Is it going to be Bast? Is it going to be Anubis? Realistically, I don't actually know how important it is to shoot this temple up to get yourself the fast advance. Like if you get yourself like a 16 pop, or sorry, a 17 pop or an 18 pop advance with only one villager on the temple, you're going to get a lot more resources for it. He does decide Anubis is going to be the path that he wants to take in this one. And we'll see how it is all going to go. A little bit on the late side for the Anubis sort of strategy here, because I'm pretty sure if Matrius plays this correctly, he can get the town center up. We'll see if that's what he's going to go for. He's only got himself 3 villages on wood, so probably not going to be his option. Drops the relic in. Dwarven Calipers. Going to be nice. Cheaper portable rams. They're already quite cheap, so 20% off quite cheap is maybe very cheap, some might say, on the scale of all the other stuff. Anyways, Matrius is going to be getting his great haul up. There's Eyes in the Forest for Matrius on the way. I love this route. This god power is so... I don't think it's underrated by top players, but I think it's an underrated technology just in general. One thing you can do is you can grab, say, a pig or a goat, and you can have him on a forest, and it's going to show you the entirety of that position. Another thing you can do is you can build an extra ox cart. You can send that forward and be on the forest, and you can get all of that line of sight as well. It's very, very, very strong. And not only that, it gives you all the information now. As you can see, he runs forward. He's going to get all of this line of sight for just a little bit, which is going to mean he's not going to He's not going to run into any trouble, ever. So, very, very strong. But also, on the other hand, you can go for raiding cavalry and move those around. That's nice as well. As the Anubite for Pegasus is moving in to try and get just a little bit of damage done, as Axemen are going to start pumping out for Pegasus. Was Eyes in the Forest in the original game? It was in the original game, but it only gave bonus line of sight to Herser, I think, or something. It was very, very, very weak. As the Anubite coming through, and Matrius is literally hunting. Oh, he kind of missed micros just a little bit. He's literally hunting the Anubite, jumps over and says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm just kidding. It was just a prank. Let me jump away. 5 speed versus 4.8. No Hall of Fames in just yet. 1 favor away from getting it, though, as he's going to be able to pick off animals or whatever in the center of the map to finish that off. Going to have that Hall of Fames, and the Anubite will be able to get out of here as some Axemen coming in. This is dangerous here for Pegasus. You don't really want to attack the Norse at this point as Egyptian, because you can see the population here, the resource differential is in favor of the Norse. Norse can hold this sort of pressure early on. You have to wait just a little bit to get everything starting to get spent, get your barracks down, get everything starting to get spent, and then you can say, all right, let's go. And then you go, all right, we're off to the races, let's go kill him. I see a Nubite getting healed up. We got another Nubite over here, but the Herser is now fast enough, and well, Pegasus is going to be a little bit disappointed about how much raiding he's going to be able to get with this, because this is completely shut down now, which is going to be good for Matrius, and it does have to bring another way to do this is to get the Axemen into a position that you can retreat back into them or something, as Plague of Serpents gets dropped down on top of the boards here. And the Herser is just simply going to be retreating back. And so far, so good for Matrius. He makes a really, really good opening in this game. Gets into the map nice and quick on the boars. He's got no hunt left in his main base, but he's managed to get a lot of resources, and he can probably go to the next age relatively soon if he wants, or keep on pumping. Got to be careful, though. Not getting into the next age means you might get out spammed. They're probably going to get out spammed by the ISIS. So we'll see exactly when Matrius decides to cut units. Another option is to go into a whole bunch of trolls as well, as a sort of way to dissuade the ISIS or the Egyptian player from trying to rush into you. Now a couple more Longhouse armory coming down for Matrius. Matrius now swinging around onto this side. Huge amounts of vision all over the places. The Guardian Nubites spotting some raiding cavalry here. The villagers here get pulled back ever so slightly as the army is just out of position, trying to spot everything around here. Pegasus's base built beautifully here, as the temple is going to be the first port of call. No watchtowers in just yet for Pegasus. He can decide to do so if he wants to. The Nubite jumps over, deletes the house to try and get away, keeps him alive, but that's pain now, as the villagers are going to start getting targeted down. Watchtowers is on the way. Town Center getting some big amounts of damage here. The villagers on this wood line as well going to be in a little bit of a trouble here, as one does end up falling. No reaction with the Axemen to come back and push these units away, trying to just say, hey, I got watchtowers. What are you doing? You're not allowed to be here anymore. As finally a couple of units decide, all right, we'll come in. And now Pegasus actually needs to drop another temple. That's a lot of damage there. 150 gold down the drain. No units finished. No units killed. Watchtowers in. So a good amount of damage dealt, as the Longhouse coming up onto this position as well. Meanwhile, Pegasus making his way out across here. Walls coming up onto this side just to try and hold on, but this villager is out in the middle of nowhere. Going to try and bail around. Does manage to garrison in. 1 villager going down. 2 villagers going down. 3 villagers going down. Pegasus is very slow on this reaction. He's trying to get pressure over here, chasing the villagers down over onto this position there. The Anubite's not able to get any kills, however, as the raiding cavalry can chase these bad boys down. As your Nubites coming back, you've got to be careful of those Hersa. Great control from Matreus thus far. One Nubite goes down. Some big misplay from Pegasus as he will be retreating away as the Spearmen to help push these bad boys out. And after all is said and done, the dust settles. Matreus can go up to the Heroic Age now. And he will be able to. He's going to be able to go through Bragi. That's going to be him with a big tick to get through this early stage of the game. Pegasus, however, is pumping units very, very crazily here. He's taking a lot of damage. Coming up onto this side, walls coming down, trolls coming through, pickaxe on the way, medium infantry coming through as well. As the dwarves making their way over onto the gold mine. And we'll see how things are going to go. Thank you for the subscription, Saxy Fett. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate the support. You the best. Meanwhile, now Pegasus goes, all right, I got an opportunity to attack here, but this is a bait from... Oh, is it a bait? There's times where clicking flaming weapons just as you hit the Heroic Age is just not what you want to be doing. But nonetheless, you still got to be careful of the trolls. Does manage to dodge that special ability nicely as the army comes through. Going to be a couple of kills onto this one. Matreus swinging around onto the back. A couple of units attacking over onto this side. Only a handful of slingers here, but is that going to be enough? Flaming weapons gets dropped down. No room to retreat here. The battle boar coming through as the priest's going to be able to take that out nice and quickly. The axemen chasing down those Hersa. A troll spawned here. Absolutely gigantic as this one Hersa baits those axemen around a huge amount. Great defense from Matreus. Cleans up the classical Egyptian army ever so slightly. Does lose one unit there on the turnaround. Well played by Pegasus, but now advantage is in to Matreus' hands. But can he convert this position? This is the hard part. This is the hard part now for Matreus. Does he go for more value trying to push? Does he have to sit back and try and just defend and get the buildings up, just continue to mass up and not throw this advantage that he's got? These are the hard decisions to make right now. There's 64 favor in the bank. Do you go for another couple of trolls here? Do you go in for a couple of battle boars? What are the answers? As barracks is coming down, temples coming through. The wall not up onto this side is going to be a little bit of pain there for Pegasus if Matreus does end up spotting that. And Matreus says, all right, we'll take the advantage inside of a hill fort. And what I mean by this, well, a hill fort costs resources. And Matreus probably paid off his Heroic Age with that fight, with winning that fight. So he can decide to grab the hill fort, and he's going to be completely fine here. Huge damage onto those axemen there as well, as Pegasus is like, let me in. I don't want you to get this position up. He's not going to be able to take it down. The Pharaoh sniping down a troll here nicely. But all of those thrown axemen getting cleaned up behind here, even with the hill fort now up. I mean, Pegasus can just retreat back, but that was a huge amount of damage onto those thrown axemen. No priests, however, as the Pharaoh is down. The trolls are the option, it looks like, for Matreus here, as Pegasus is going to need not 2 priests, which he just made, but probably somewhere in the vicinity of 10 priests to start dealing with the myth unit spam that's going to be coming his way. So where to next here for Pegasus? Technically speaking, he has some time now to try and get... He's got some time now to try and get Heroic Age. Go Heroic Age, get access to a whole bunch of, like, I mean, Sobek would be a good idea. Ancestors, maybe go for Nephthys for the Nephthys upgrade. And the raid is coming around here. You got to be paying attention if you're Pegasus. You see the blue units. He does get alerted to this position. This wall is not up. And, well, it doesn't matter because the Anubites are in. That's going to be a scary couple of units there to push these raiding cavalry away. But yeah, Pegasus without that wall is making me nervous for him. A couple of Hersa roaming around on that spot could be very, very dangerous. Meanwhile, now we've got cheeky little portable rams. These are cheap, like I was saying. When you get that relic in, 125, 125 is very, very nice. Is that really how much this bad boy costs? There it is, 100, 100. 100, 100 with that relic. It's nice. But Pegasus is now back up to a very, very respectable army. And this here has to be scary for Matrius. He should... big balls of nice control there from Pegasus, though. He almost got hit with everything as the Inery Horn blows Priests, Pharaoh, taking down these myth units very, very quickly. Slingers getting pulled in as well. The Priest and the Pharaoh need to be cleaning up those myth units. They're going after the battle ball in the middle here, as this is not the fight that Matrius wanted to take here in the slightest. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in this matchup. You win one fight, you have not managed to find the actual win in the game. You still got to play so carefully. And now all of a sudden, Pegasus is back in the driver's seat. However, there's not really anything for Pegasus to attack here. Gold mines protected. Watchtowers can come through. But what Pegasus can do is he can say, great. Let's either, well, he's grabbing a town center, which is one option. But he can go Heroic Age, grab a town center, get more buildings, spam more stuff. Look to gold starve on the next gold mine as an idea here. Lots of different options for him as he's going to try and take down this Great Hall. Takes a long time to actually finish that one off, as the raids are now going to start motoring out across the map. There's not really anything for Matrius to raid here either. There is Chronolations in, as I guess raiding the Spearman isn't a terrible idea. As the town center will finish up, has gold mines on the top. There's little bits of hunt all around the map as well as into the main base. Just a handful of heavy raiding cavalry coming in to hit this wood line. Matrius sees it. Pegasus a little bit slow on the reaction. Going to be losing a villager or two here as he pulls straight out over onto the watchtower, and there Matrius says, all right, I don't want to be here anymore. Let me get out. He's still taking a huge amount of damage from those watchtowers. Nonetheless, as he's coming around now over onto this side, Prosperity getting dropped here. Villagers getting up more gold mines all over the place. This gold mine's almost finished here as the Spearmen get pulled back. These villagers need to retreat out through the wall, but a little bit on that slow part. Big amounts of damage to come through. And now the scary army is in for Matrius. I think if Matrius had waited, got this scary army out with all those myth units, maybe Pegasus would be in a pretty rough spot here. But I think Pegasus sees this army. He's going to pull back. He should be okay here to just play somewhat defensively, especially underneath the town center or something like that. Is he still pumping units? Yes, he is. He's going through Nephthys as well. There's not that many heroes here, so Nephthys, Ancestors on top of this army should be a decent usage. Just the Pharaoh getting targeted down, a couple of Mercenary getting created. Pharaoh going down as an Inery spawns. Not the most ideal there for Pegasus. The Priest over behind this position will be able to snipe that bad boy down. Axemen versus heavy raiding cavalry, not the best, but the town center is in. And this thing does so much damage. You just have to micro it on top of the raiding cavalry to help out. Population differential still very, very close here as villagers starting to get targeted down. No slingers at the moment out for Pegasus. As he hits the next age, will have access to the Scorpion Men. Ancestors forced out here. Absolutely huge for Matrius to get that force. I don't know if he really needed it. The one Scorpion Man would have been enough to actually kill off those throwing axemen, and then he could have been completely fine here and had that Ancestors for a little bit later. However, what this does get is, one, Pegasus is going to have access to Nebty, so those priests are going to be huge. And then more importantly, Matrius is going to have a huge amount of favor to be pumping out myth units. So both players get what they want. And we'll see who's going to be able to come out on top of this, as we do have the villagers moving up to this top gold mine. Pegasus going to be pulling back. He can actually start making some... he's going for camels. Not a bad idea. Could make chariot archers as well if he wants to. He does already... He doesn't have any upgrades onto the slingers. Personally, I prefer chariot archers over slingers when playing against throw and action, unless I've got Sekhmet. If you have Sekhmet, then the slingers literally just blow through those chariot archers. But no, those throw and action. But the chariot archers, they can just snipe the throw and axemen from so far away that it doesn't matter that the slingers are doing more DPS normally. Nonetheless, Matria says, time for a town center as the game will continue along here. Obelisk getting taken out. Thurzai's rune on the way to start boosting up those myth units. This technology, I was thinking it wasn't that good for a while, but I actually think it's pretty decent. Just for the speed, if only just for the speed. The regen on it is a little bit of a meme, but the speed is very, very, very nice. So units getting caught out of position here. Got to be so careful when you're raiding against Norse. They've got the movement speed advantage. As Pegasus says, time for another town center. Could work out for himself as it looks like Matrius wants to see this. He sees the town center going up, wants to deny it. Villagers coming back in to try and get this one finished. They can actually just say, we'll take a little bit of a shank over here as the army actually taking a good fight. But, rock giant spawn on this position is kind of gigantic, though the Pharaoh is in, so it's not that big of a deal. Snipes one villager. Good turn around and at least kill off the town center here. Is he going for it? Will he be able to? No, he doesn't. As we'll be up to 3 town centers. The units starting to encircle in onto this position. Can Pegasus actually defend this? He's got so many resources in the bank. He's trying to do everything at once, and Matrius is finding this advantage beautifully here. Pegasus wants Mythic Age. He wants 3rd Town Center. He wants to take fights. You can't do all 3 at once, but maybe, just maybe, he's going to be able to find a way to hold here. He's still got a decent amount of population. The Town Center pushing that with the Battle Wars is completely fine. That being said, there's a Pharaoh over there, so that's scary. Meanwhile, on the other side, a little cheeky hell will come through as Osiris is now queued up. Osiris is very, very scary here for Matris because that's all of the problems. All of the problems that Isis is going to have here is myth units, right? No more problems. The Pegasus has to play well with that Son of Osiris, though. It's not an easy thing to do. I've seen Son of Osiris after Son of Osiris getting thrown. Best way to use it is to castle creep. So you want to get a Migdol, plop it down somewhere, and you go say, I'm going from this position into this position. So we go, all right, 1 Migdol on the front, and then 1 Migdol here, and then 1 Migdol here, and we just keep on pushing forward. And then you got the garrison ability, plus you got that damage coming through. Nonetheless, a couple of cheeky little raiding cavalry coming through, trying to hit this position, but a Migdol stronghold is up, and that's going to be enough to scare Matrius back. Meanwhile, a 3rd Town Center going to be coming through for Matrius here, as the hill fort's in the middle of the map. I like this from Matrius. He's got all of the maps scouted. He's also got a couple of goats on the back, just having a little bit of a luxury there, just enjoying all that vision. Meanwhile, on the other side, there is Hell. It's an interesting dynamic, Hell versus Osiris. Now, obviously, the Son of Osiris is going to be able to kill the Nidhogg, but the Nidhogg has burst damage, and that's the scary part. Plus, he's got movement. Got the movement speed over the Son of Osiris. So you can go ahead and fly around the map, potentially use the Nidhogg over here, kill a huge amount of villagers, whereas the Son of Osiris can't just chase that Nidhogg. Same too with the Priest, can't just chase that Nidhogg. It can be very, very tricky to deal with it if the Nidhogg is used well. Then again, if it's not used well, it can die very, very quickly and feel like it does nothing. Meanwhile, the Chariot Archer, Camel Rider army massing up. Son of Osiris coming in. Well, I would assume coming in, but wanting to empower Lumber Camp for the time being. Hello? Pegasus, wake up! Villagers retreating over here. Gets a frost giant spawn. Always brutal. Is there something he's waiting on? I don't think so. Going up for champion chariots, champion camel rider, desert wind. Market gets started up as well for Pegasus to get that trade route going. He will be out of gold soon. On the other side, it's going to be a similar problem. Gold mine almost finished here. Gold mine about to, well, starting up, but going to get finished pretty quickly. This gold mine here, very important, but technically speaking, I think this is a Matrius gold mine as well. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Where's the other one? Am I blind? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Is there another gold mine somewhere that I'm just blind to? I'm looking for like mining camps. Maybe there was a fourth one over on the other side, and this is Pegasus's. Anyways. Son of Osiris now in. Nidhogg in. Raiding cavalry coming up to the top. These things are not going to last long underneath this position. Look at that damage. He was there for like just less than a second. Nice pullback though from Matrius as Pegasus gets himself out the catapult. However, he has not started his fortress push. That's what's important. Meanwhile, on the other side, I like this from Matrius. He goes, how am I going to kill the Son of Osiris? Well, the answer is Ballista. If you can get to them fast enough, you've got to get to them quickly. 2 Ballista versus 1 catapult. Pulls back. You can also heal up the catapult as well. That's a little bit of nastiness there from Pegasus. As he pushes forward ever so slightly, 220 population. Fortified Townsend is now in. Going to be able to go up to 250 population. Axeman will be somewhat needed here. He's got a handful of them in as the Nidhogg getting dropped down over onto this side to put a stop to the Camel Rider raid. Simply just going to pull back. No problems there. Son of Osiris getting out of position, though. Vegas has got to be very, very careful here. Lots and lots of fire giants are in. But the answer to the fire giant is that Son of Osiris. As the damage comes in, sniping down a huge amount of camel riders here. The mummies now coming through. It's been a long time since I've really seen these mummies getting used. Nidhogg coming through. Son of Osiris sort of starting to take some serious damage here. How many priests in for Pegasus? He's got 4 priests here. The Son of Osiris in the center of the army. As the Nidhogg swoops forward, kind of misses completely, but still, damage coming in. Chariot archers going down relatively quickly here. The population, however, for Matrius is very, very low. As after all is said and done, the Nidhogg will fall. Son of Osiris still alive, but getting very close to falling as well. As the fire giants going down on the other side, looks like... Oh, never mind. The game's over. I was getting excited, but it looks like Matrius says, "Oh, no more. I can't do much left into this game." But great control from Pegasus to win here. He kind of loses the army, but that Son of Osiris just cleans up all that is strong here. The catapults are going to be a menace to deal with. All the units coming through. Armory upgrades as well. Pegasus is almost fully upgraded as the Thor... Well, not the Thor, the upgrades here for Matrius. Does he have any military units out? Let me have a look. He's only on nearly, not even bronze here, so he just can't quite make it work. This is the thing. If you're going to do this Ballista idea, like rush to the Mythic Age to get that Ballista out, you almost need to hit the Mythic Age first. You almost need to hit the Mythic Age first on the Isis, and that's not an easy feat because you have to get set up with the fortress. Not the hill forts. You need like multiple hill forts to get the Ballista out. And then you need to be sitting in a good spot that you can actually be zoning that Son of Osiris back, zoning catapults back. Very, very, very tricky to play. But a really well played game from both players. Matrius does find that advantage early on. I think had he not pushed to convert the advantage so quickly, if we take a look here, this fight was the one that I think... No, not that fight. This was the Flaming Weapons fight. This was the fight I think that Matrius shouldn't have taken. If he doesn't go for this fight, waits a little longer, gets himself those heavy upgrades, gets himself those Huskal out, and then looks for something, playing like pretty defensively, then looks for something, maybe like 15, 16 minutes into the game here, maybe, just maybe, this game is completely turned on its head. Like, Pegasus did make a big mistake in this fight, simply micro-wise. I don't think it was a mistake for him to fight. I actually think he would have won if he microed it a bit better. But the fact that he lost that fight gave Matris every single little bit of like opportunity to win this game. But nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.